or if you want to do it in the cloud, but
No, I've already started it.
perfect. All right. Have a good meeting, everybody.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
What do you need, Robin?
I got you. Attendees and panelists. Okay,
Yep. Text me if you need something.
okay.
Boy, Robin, Janelle is entrusting you with the controls.
I know it's scary.
It's very scary. I'm glad it's you and not me.
Not as scary as if I were in control.
I think I've only done this once and
Okay.
twice. I think the first time I did okay, but the second time I think I forgot to hit record.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
That made it challenging for Jackie.
yeah.
Or the
I don't know who Bill is, but
Bill Landon.
it doesn't say Bill Landon. Is it? There's an attendee. It's Bill.
Okay, so do we have a bill applicant?
I don't know.
I don't see a bill applicant. Maybe he's just nothing on TV tonight. So Michael is out of town. He had a conflict when we changed the date. He had already made some appointments, so he's not here, but everybody else. Is Joe here?
I'm here.
Okay, I know you're here. I said, is Joe here? Is Joe here? No? Joe Hawker? And Bill Landon's not here, right? Well, that's sort of very strange.
I've got a Joe H, so that might be Joe Hockner.
Yes, that would be Joe Hockner. So, and you don't have a last name for the bill that's out there?
Uh-uh.
Do you want to just let him in, see who he is? Or ask him? He could be coming in on somebody else's.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
I'm here. Yes.
Good. I wonder if Bill's coming in on somebody else's computer or something.
Trying it, see what happens.
Okay. You have to unmute him. He's muted.
He has to do that.
He has to. Bill, could you identify yourself?
Here's Bill.
Whoops. That was Joe.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, George.
It's George.
Oh,
Hey,
there you
everyone.
Okay.
Here you are.
And then
Not wearing a hat tonight.
George. Oh, you're not, but it looks.
You're looking good, George.
Thank you.
Look
The hair's
good.
coming back in. It thinned. I didn't lose it all, but it's.
Hi, George.
You know, a couple of friends of mine, it came in super curly, like a poodle.
Oh, well, that's a possibility too.
Yeah,
We'll see.
yeah.
It's better than the alternative, but I mean, not that anybody cares, but
I
I
care.
had very thick hair. When you talk about, well, what are your best features? My hair was,
Oh man, right
it's
up
important.
on right up there on top. Okay.
Right.
I went through that a long time ago, George.
Well, I'll take it as it comes. I hear you.
Okay, so is everybody here, Robin, except Michael, who we know is not going to be here?
Yeah, looks like there's 6 of you.
Okay, all right, that's good. Well, we have 2 more minutes, I think.
I barely made it.
Uh-oh, how come?
My neighbor grabbed me and wanted me to set up a Weber cooker in his backyard for a party tonight.
Oh,
And
nice.
I had my hands in that. Jill texts me and says, "Get your hide in the house. You got a meeting coming up." And I looked at the time and I went, "Oh, I almost missed it."
No dinner for you.
That's really what you said?
Yeah. Well, that's what happens. No good deed goes unpunished.
That's it.
Well, I planned ahead. I've got my snacks and I've got some decaf coffee.
You're good.
I'm good for a couple hours.
I didn't plan ahead.
Oh, I had a very early lunch and early dinner, so,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
uh-oh.
Robin, I have a couple old packets I need to drop off to you. I'll do that.
Okay, that's fine.
Files.
There's Bonnie.
Is Bonnie?
Well, she just stepped out.
Okay. I think this is Bonnie's last time with us.
Nope, May.
No? You have one more?
Yeah, I think so. Second week in May. My replacement isn't sworn in until
Oh.
the 17th.
Oh, and that's right. And because we are possibly going to move it to the first Thursday, then you will definitely be there.
There you go.
There I go. You can't shake us, Bonnie. Once you should try by these drastic measures. Okay, I see 6 o'clock. Does that look like 6 to everybody?
Good.
Yes.
Bonnie munches along.
Sorry, we were a little behind on dinner.
That's
Oh.
okay. That's okay.
I
Everybody
can
else.
relate.
Just
I'm
been-
eating a chocolate bunny.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Lucky
It's
for you.
6 o'clock on my laptop.
Okay, all
Do
right.
we have our attorney?
Brian, is Brian here?
No, I've not seen him yet.
Oh my goodness. You dare have us carry on without him?
You want me to email him or something?
Yeah, why don't you have a cell number or something? Text him, email? No,
I
just
don't.
email. Yeah, I don't either. I think I just have emails. Although I've received calls from him, but I think they've been office numbers. All right. Well, I think we can still get started, right? Are you good with that, Robin? You're just nodding. You're unmuted, you know. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to call this meeting to order. It is Tuesday, April 13th, 6 o'clock. It is the Historic Preservation Architectural Review Commission monthly meeting. And the first, I just have a couple of announcements, things I wanted to share. Number one, important city elections are coming up. Along with the elections for the Board of Public Works, everyone must register separate for the city and separate with Board of Public Works in order to vote. Very, very
Ryan's over on the panelist side, Robin.
What? He's over on the panel?
Ryan is over on the panelist side, on the attendees side.
Oh, Brian is over there?
Yep, he needs to be
Yep.
switched over.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay. You heard that, Robin? Nod.
He's in.
Okay, he's in. Okay.
There it is.
There
Hi,
it is.
Brian. Welcome.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's okay. I finished that little blurb. Also, just another announcement I wanted to share is Preservation Delaware, Inc. does free Zoom workshops every other month. They have one coming up in April, and it's going to be about researching your historic house or property. And I printed out the brochure, well, parts of it. This is the newsletter that just came out, and you can go online and just Google or bring up their website, Preservation Delaware. And it lists a whole bunch of things that have been going on and things that are going to be going on, one of which is this workshop. Also gives you access to the workshop they had a month before last, which was the tax credits. And that has now been, the recording is now available if you wanted to hear it again, or if you didn't hear it and you want to hear it for the first time. You're welcome to do that. And I think that's it for the announcements. So we have our minutes to approve. Does anybody have any additions or corrections to the minutes? No?
No,
Okay,
Look good.
Do we approve the minutes for the last meeting?
this is the minutes we're approving. March 9th. Today's April.
March 9th.
Yes, yes. No
But
meetings. in
I
between.
have a question, Barbara. In
Sure.
the last statement before a motion was made, in the issue that was brought before us by the commissioners and the council.
What
it
page?
says-
What page?
Page 9, second bullet.
Okay, second bullet. On the very top,
Second bullet.
on the top, that says, this is an artifact.
Yeah, is that an accurate statement? The way that I don't think that that's accurate. The way that was depicted in. I mean,
With page 9, second bullet from the top of the page.
correct.
It says, this is, somebody made this comment. This
You
is an
did.
artifact
Yeah,
of the railroad industry in Lewis, which is
Yeah,
a
that was just a
structure.
comment by someone, not a
It's not a,
fact.
no, it's just somebody making a comment about the fact that, oh, and, the railroad bridge, swing bridge might also be an artifact kind of thing. Did you read it differently, Randy?
Well, I guess maybe I did because it seems like it's declaratory to me that somebody that was a statement of fact that I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
asking if it's accurate, Brian.
Chair,
Yes.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
so if you go to page 8, the bottom of page 8, it says discussion by commissioners continued.
Mhm.
And that leads into the second to page 9, where Commissioner Burton's referring to.
Mhm.
And I think his point is, it sounds like a commissioner, the way this is worded, it sounds like a commissioner made that statement rather than a member of the public.
Right.
Well, the commissioners did make that statement.
And that's what it's saying on page 8.
Yeah, it says discussion by commissioners continued. So a commissioner did say that, and although it could be interpreted one way, unless we want to go back and listen to the recording.
Well, I think the input from the public, if I remember correctly, is immediately above that where it says discussion by commissioners. So I think the public comment is actually self-contained. So it's pretty clear that the discussion by the commissioners continued was after the public comment, and
Mhm.
it would be commissioners' comments, I think.
Mhm.
That's
Well,
where,
I don't think that the minutes need to be corrected. I think that the explanation is on page 8. So I think we're good.
Okay, are you okay with that, Randy?
Okay, I mean,
Okay.
if there's consensus that it's correct, it's the way it is written, it says there is an artifact of the railroad industry in Lewis.
Well, I don't think it was actually said that way. I think it was, we've referenced the fact, well, oh, and the railroad bridge might be an artifact too. In fact, I think, Joe, you may have said that.
It's starting to sound familiar, yes.
Yeah, but I think it was more like a casual thing, more like, and, the railroad bridge, it might even be considered an artifact.
That sounds right.
It
Right, that's my point, but that's not the way it's written. I recall the discussion.
Mhm.
The way that it's written is not the way it doesn't
well,
reference it that way. So
Yeah,
I'm just asking.
no, I agree with you. I agree with you. It was, I believe it may have been said differently. Well, let's just hold off on approving these minutes. And I'll go back and listen to the recording and pull that out for next time. Is that okay with everybody? Brian? Brian, is
Yes.
that okay with you?
That's fine, Madam Chair.
Okay,
So pen the minutes and move from there.
yeah, we'll just do that next month.
Do we
Sounds
need a
good, Madam
motion to table it?
I don't, does anybody else have any other comments about the minutes? Any other modifications or corrections or anything? No? Okay. Brian, do we need a motion to defer the approval of the minutes until next month?
I think that would be wise.
Okay, George,
So moved.
a second?
I'll
Second.
second.
Thank you. All in favor of deferring the approval of the minutes until next month? Say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Okay. Anyone opposed? All right, continuing on. All right, we are now down to the first application. This is presentation and possible action on a request by Arlene Matzkin on behalf of Raymond Para for the modification of a plan approved by HPARC on February 4th, 2020. The request is for the installation of a small porthole window on the front elevation of the new addition. The property is located at 125 Jefferson Avenue, Sussex County Tax Map 335-8.12-47.00R-4H contributing. Hi, Arlene.
Hi all, hi HPARC.
Oh, good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you, likewise.
Okay, so we approved this project, and then I guess the applicant decided they wanted to add something.
It was in and it was out and it was back in, yes. So
Okay. And then just for the information of the rest of the commissioners, this did come back as a chair and staff because it's a relatively small item and a window. And so that was the proper procedure. It was not approved as chair and staff because of our guidelines. And as all applicants are able to do, they chose to come back before the full commission to have the full commission weigh in on it. So that brings everybody up to date from my side. And Arlene, you want to add anything to this for the applicant?
Well, a couple of things. You've seen the photographs that Ray had photoshopped, the with and without.
Mhm.
He had the siding put in, which I think helps a lot because now it's a bright blue house wrap.
Mhm.
And if we're talking about whether it's appropriate, I feel that, I don't think it's totally appropriate, a porthole, but I feel that there are a lot of things in the surrounding houses that are also historically inappropriate that have been approved by HPARC. And case in point, directly across the street,
Yes.
there's a railing on this house, which is known in the trade as a Chippendale railing.
Mhm.
And a Chippendale railing would be on a Georgian revival house. And there are a lot of these in Lewis. They get approved. But for me, it's glaringly inappropriate, along with all those fiberglass garage doors that are feet from the curb. And I don't know how to historically resolve that. But you noticed in the packet, there were like 11 letters of support. Since the deadline, we've gotten several more, all of which have been, people have taken the time to
Yes.
write about how much they're enjoying the porthole window.
Mhm.
So that is the sole essence of my case. My client, Ray, would really like to have permission, if the porthole window is rejected, to put a little stained glass window in that location,
Mhm.
which would not be my choice, but
Mhm.
it's a fallback.
Okay. Well, I think without laboriously going through all our guidelines, the one that is perfectly clear, of course, is 197-59 B7 C, which says new construction. It's under windows. Number 7 is windows, and windows has ABC, and C is new construction, new structures in the historic district and alterations to existing historic structures shall have windows compatible with existing and surrounding structures. And that was the reason for chair and staff. That's a simple reason for chair and staff to have turned it down. That and one of the suggestions in the chair and staff that I'd made to Robin was, we're not saying you can't have your quirky little porthole. I like quirky stuff, but it just shouldn't face the street, and if there was a side or back area, and I've seen people do things, you make something like that into a mirror, and put it inside. I mean, everybody loves artifacts that say something to them. But anyway, that was Why?
It is where the new entrance is there, where that porthole window, I mean, you go up 30 feet from the sidewalk and turn left into what is the new front door.
Mhm.
So I think it also works well for that. I mean, he could put a quirky mailbox up there. Or something
On the
else.
side of the building?
Well,
Yeah.
on the front, at that
Oh, yeah.
location, yeah.
Yeah, but yes, he could, and that would be okay, because we can, those can be removed, but this becomes part of the
True.
structure, so it's a
Yes,
little
it-
different, and yeah, I think, it's a plain wall, it seems to even want a welcome sign, or
It does.
some
It does.
kind of quirky, the Raymond lives here, or something like that.
Right.
But anyway, so that's where it stands. So I'm going to go around and ask all the commissioners to weigh in one at a time. And why don't I start with Phil? Phil, you have any comments about our porthole
Yeah.
window?
Yeah, my comment is in the end, I'm going to vote for approval, but the way they went around this commission, I don't approve of. But in the end, it's only a little window. It is an artifact. We're right next to the ocean. It's appropriate to be there. It's not something that's glaring and inappropriate. So in the end, I will vote approval of the installation of that window.
Okay, Bill Landon?
Yeah, so thank you. You quoted the ordinance there. If we were to approve this, then someone else wants a porthole and another person wants a porthole and another one wants a porthole, then where are we? Everybody in the town gets a porthole because they can go back to Jefferson and say, hey, you guys approved it at Jefferson. Now, why can't we have it at our house? Is that a problem? I think it can be. I was impressed with the fact that, you went from neighbor to neighbor and there were a lot of nice, kind comments regarding it. And I think it, like Barbara said, it has its place in a different setting. But since it's facing the street, and I'm uncomfortable with the fact that, I'm going against the ordinance there, I would have to disapprove.
Okay, thank you. Randy?
I think that when you look at this application, you have to look at 197-59-1, which says historical or architectural value and significance of the structure and its relationship to the historic value of the surrounding area. And when I look at Jefferson Avenue, notwithstanding whether somebody has something that is architecturally appropriate or not, I see one of the kind of hipper, more, well put together, restored streets in town. And there's a lot of funkiness on the street, and there's a lot of unique character to every one of those houses, including when you get to the end, where our co-commissioner lives directly at the end of the street, and the uniqueness of their house and the other ones that are there. And I think that item 1 speaks to the surrounding area. So to some of my other commissioners who reference maybe it would become prolific throughout the city, I don't think that's what we're charged to look at. I think we're charged to look at each individual area and home within the context of its historic significance and the surrounding area. And so that being the case, I don't see anything inappropriate with the porthole. I know that we can go back to the window section and quote that, but we could probably find another round window on Jefferson Avenue if we hunted around for a little bit. Maybe not, but I think we probably could, because there's a whole lot going on that street, and most of it has enriched downtown Lewis.
Okay, Joe?
Yeah, I bicycled by there on Sunday, I believe, and I was surprised to see it in place. I thought it was being proposed, but there it was. And like somebody said, we live near the ocean and the ocean's getting closer. So I think it's appropriate. The only thing I hope is that the owner keeps the brass polished. I do like it and I hope we can do it. Thank you.
That's Arlene's job.
Okay, George, did you want?
Yeah, this is.
I know you're a neighbor and I didn't know whether.
So I just want to, be clear and concise. I want everybody who's listening to understand that HPARC is a commission. It's part of the city. It is, we have our ordinances. We get this, standards and what have you from the state and national historic preservation, organizations. And that's where our guidelines come from. So when you're talking about windows, I would have to agree with Barbara in the sense that 197-59C, which talks about the facade exterior features, which includes the windows, and that they be height and they be proportional. The one thing I want to convey to all of our listeners is, this is part of the city government, and this is not like a homeowners association where you can petition the HOA board to get a consensus and convince them to change their minds. They're not following the same standards we do. Now, I have nothing against the porthole. I think that would be a great feature at like Coastal Club, but as far as the city of Lewis and the historic district, and as quirky as Jefferson Avenue is, and of course, my house is quirky. I've never heard it put that way, but we are interesting, but we followed the guidelines. So I just don't feel that a porthole in replacing a window or a stained glass, which is historical or can be, has historical reference to it. So I'm going to have to oppose the porthole and suggest that maybe perhaps there's somewhere else in the addition that's not on the street view to put it, either on the side or in the back. I mean, it is attractive. I just don't think that it fits in the historic district. And I hope that's a diplomatic explanation for how I feel. We are charged with following the ordinance as it's written, and there is some latitude there, of course. I just don't think that this is the exception.
Okay, thank you, George.
Madam
Yes.
Chair, just real quickly, I just want to be clear because I've heard it twice that you guys are referring to 197-59C. And
No,
my
no,
understanding is
it's
that
it's 197-59. It's B windows and it's C under B7.
so it's 197-59B7C. That's the section of the ordinance
Seven,
that you're
yeah.
referring to.
Yeah, 7 is windows.
Thank you.
Under 7 is ABC and C is what I had read.
Okay, that's.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted clarification on that.
Okay, not a problem. Yeah, I mean, out of context with numbers and letters, it may be misleading. Okay, let's see. We do have it looks like we got a raised hand and a Q&A. So I guess before we vote or get to a motion, we can listen to what somebody comments from the public. Is that right?
Yes, Madam Chair, I would just also re-echo our concerns from and what's in our bylaws, which is to limit it to 2 or 3 minutes. I believe that's what our bylaw says for public comment per person.
Okay. Robin, do you want to, let's see, the Q&A, I guess I can click that.
The Q&A was Bill Landon.
Oh,
saying
that
he's here.
oh.
That's all. That's all that was.
Okay, and then the raised hand, does somebody from the public have?
I don't see any raised hand.
Oh, it was illuminated. It's illuminated on my screen. That doesn't mean anybody's got their hand up. Okay. All right, all right. Then I guess I'll entertain, looks like we've got a split vote here, but I'll entertain a motion from someone. George?
Well, my motion would be to not approve, so I don't know if there's a conflicting motion there or not,
No, that's,
but I can.
no, that's great. I need a,
Hold on, let me get my paper.
look. Whoops, you're frozen. Are you still working? You're froze up, George.
You might have hit something.
Oh, Bill, do you want to make the motion?
I can.
8.12-400.
Oh, whoops.
Hey, George, we're going to stop you. You were froze for a few minutes.
Oh,
When you're highlighted.
am I unfrozen?
Yes, now you're good.
Your hair was looking good though, George.
I'm telling you. Okay. Anyway, because the application concerns a property that is 125 Jefferson Avenue in Lewis, tax map number 335-8.10-4700 and is contributing, I move that this application be denied.
Do I have a second?
I second that.
Okay.
I don't know
All
how
in
many
favor?
people vote.
What?
How many people, how many votes are there?
Tonight, there's only 6. We're missing one person.
Okay.
So I think we've got a split. All in favor, say aye, or raise your hand so I
Aye.
can count. So Bill, is your hand raised, Bill?
Yes.
Okay, so we got 3. And opposed, raise your hand,
Randy
opposed,
raised his hand.
I raised my hand, Barbara.
opposed, right?
No,
Oh, in favor.
I'm a little confused. I'm
The
confused.
motion is to deny the application. That's,
Understood.
so you're either voting
3 and 3.
for the motion or against the motion.
The motion is to deny the porthole window.
So if you vote yes, you're voting to deny.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, that's how it
Okay.
works. So we're gonna, I mean, it's from the
Okay.
comments that are made, it appears it's split. So, but I just have to go on record. So I'm voting to not deny. And Bill and George both voted to deny. Now, is there somebody that's not gonna vote to deny? I want a hands up
I'm not,
You're gonna-
I'm voting
to oppose.
to approve.
Okay,
I'm voting to approve the window.
okay, so you're voting against the motion. You're
Yes.
voting against the motion to deny.
To approve.
And
Madam Chair,
Randy-
let's do it individually.
What may make sense is to call upon each individual, give their reason to either deny the motion, which would be to vote for approval, or vice versa to approve of the motion and the reasons for it, which is, and the motion is to deny the application.
Right.
Yeah, one suggestion would be that we recast the motion in the affirmative, which is, it might be easier to follow to deny.
It would be, but it's gonna be the same.
I tend to agree with Councilperson Osler on that. I think that it may be better for someone that does approve of passing the application to recast the motion as a motion to approve the application.
Right, then
Might just make sense for everybody.
I think that's just to make the record clearer, Barbara.
Okay, I
Okay,
think you're right.
I withdraw my original motion and I will make a motion to approve. So here we go. Because the application concerns a property that is 125 Jefferson Avenue, tax map number 335-8.12-4700, .00 and is a contributing structure. And is in the historic district. I move to approve as submitted.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I'll second that.
Who seconded?
I did, Phil.
Phil did? Okay. All right. And, okay, so all in favor of approving the application to have the porthole window approved, installed? I'm going to start one at a time. Phil, do you want to start? Give your reason again for the record and your vote.
I approve of the installation of the porthole. I don't look at it as a typical window at all. In fact, it doesn't fall into the category of a window for me. And as a designer of buildings, to say, oh, you can't put a porthole there. I know it's in the historic district, but look where we are. We're on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean. I think the porthole is very appropriate. I vote for approval.
Okay. Bill?
I vote for disapproval because of the fact that it doesn't comply with the ordinance. Also, the porthole is facing the street, and that again is a no-no. And as a result of that, I just recommend disapproval.
Okay, Randy?
For the reasons stated earlier of 19759A1, that states historical architectural value and significance of a structure and its relationship to the historic value of the surrounding area. And also for 19759.
Elaine, you might want to mute. Arlene, if you're going to talk, would you mute? Okay, sorry, Randy.
Mute.
Randy,
59, I'm here.
okay.
I was just waiting for it to be clear. 159B, item 8, architectural details. I believe this falls into the category of architectural details. And although it may not apply to 7C because it's new construction and alterations, I believe that it maintains the rhythm and scale of other buildings on the street. And that's the place that we're reviewing to, not for the entire historic district. So I vote in favor.
Okay, and I've kind of lost track. George?
Yes, I vote no. Basically, for everything that has been said before, and in my opinion, it does not follow the ordinance.
Okay, and Joe?
I vote yes. It's a funky little future artifact of our maritime heritage, and I like it. Just keep it polished. Thank you.
Okay, and I also vote no because of the ordinance, the section that I read, 7C, which is pretty clear. I think there are other locations that funky, unique things can be located. And the streetscape is one of those really important views that I think we should be very careful about. So we have a tie. And according to our lawyer, he would like to weigh in on this. In the past.
Pursuant to your bylaws, a simple majority will rule. In the event there is a tie in the votes, the matter shall fail, but may be brought before the HPARC again without prejudice. And I think that's going to need to occur anyway, because Mr. Widener is not here and he would be the deciding vote.
Yes, he would have. Okay, so does that mean they can be on the agenda next month without any changes? Is that what that means?
So the matter failed, so the application failed. It may be resubmitted again for the sake of expediting things and to making it a lot easier on the applicant, I can't imagine why something would need to be resubmitted. Maybe it should be brought before the commission again as is.
Well, no, I guess my question is, can they bring the exact same application forward again?
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, so Arlene,
Yeah, I have more letters. More letters will be in the next application. And,
you know, we unfortunately, the guidelines do not have a popular vote section. And so
Right.
it's kind of like, you get a traffic light and there were no cars and nobody saw you, but gee whiz,
Yeah.
stuff changed. So anyway, but sorry to delay your project. But we will.
Okay,
we'll see
thanks.
see you next month.
I'm
Arlene.
staying on. I'm on the next one.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank
for your
you.
patience. Mhm. All right. Okay, moving right along. We have to, Robin, can you move on to the next applicant?
She's
Arlene.
here already. It's Arlene.
Oh, she's the next one. Oh, that's right.
Still
I'm
here.
sorry. You're still here. That's
I'm
right.
still here.
Yeah, that's
Are-
right.
Arlene, are any of the owners here that want to speak also, or you just speaking on behalf of the owners?
I'm speaking on behalf of the owners.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So this is seek 2 an applications, presentation and possible action on request by Arlene Matzkin on behalf of Laura and Lindley McGrew for the construction of an addition and deck on the existing dwelling located at 410 Pilottown Road, Sussex County Tax Map 335-4, 19-97.00 R2-H contributing. And it's this is an amazing project. I think this house is phenomenal, and I think you did a phenomenal job with all those roof angles.
Oh,
And oh my God, I mean, I looked at that and I thought, wow.
This is the house of many gables.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, it is.
Yes, exactly. So
It
you
is.
want to tell us about the project?
Oh, wow.
Where do I start?
I think the application is pretty descriptive. I will say that there's no way you can take a picture from the Marina Avenue to get it because it's all overgrown. And I didn't put in a picture of the existing back, which will all be gone if we get approval. But this is the existing back.
Oh, okay.
This was all added not very long ago, within 15 years, I think. And because of the setbacks, we're going to keep the little
Outdoor
one
shower.
little part. Yeah, not the shower, but there's a toilet room behind that. We're moving it, keeping the roof basically, and then just going from there.
Okay, because I overlaid the 2 site plans, so I was sure
Right.
what you were taking out. So you're going to take out that sort of rounded deck that was added.
Yeah,
last year?
yeah, that's all going.
Okay, so it's
And
just
all that pergola stuff back there.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's going.
Okay.
And there's not going to be any red metal roof.
Okay.
I guess we're going to stick to the dark asphalt fiberglass roof.
Okay. Very good. All
So
right.
there's basically no work in the front of the house. This house is fascinating. It's on the register. I noticed that Robin put in the citation. When it went on the register, I don't know how long ago, it didn't look anything like this. It was just the 1800 core, no porch, no other additions. It was a very inauspicious house when it was built.
Yes, it was, but it's a wonderful historic house, that's for sure. And
And it's a wonderful location.
yes, it is, and I'm glad it's got some new people to love it.
Yeah. If you walked in there, you'd love it too.
Well,
I mean,
it was on the house tour a couple
It
years
was?
ago.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
really
Yes, I know.
spectacular.
I was so excited to have that on, but yeah, but it's a house that needs lots of love. Old
Yes,
houses
it
need love.
does. It
Yeah.
does.
Okay, well, I don't have any comments to start with other than what I've already said. So, George, do you want to start?
Sure. I drove by the house just to, refamiliarize myself with it, and I was looking at your plans. And I too think that it's a wonderful design, very well done, very thought out. So I'm very much in favor of it just the way it is.
Great.
Okay. Phil?
Yeah, first off, I think it's a wonderful, the way you worked all the roofs and roofs coming together. That wasn't an easy job, but
No.
also looking and we're not asked to comment on the interior floor plans, but the floor plan is really very, very inviting, very well done also. And so going to the exterior, that's our assignment. I will vote to approve.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Bill?
Yes, I think Arlene did a great job. I just have a few questions. On the first sheet here, it says new rear deck to be determined. I was looking for more descriptive detail on that. That's kind of like wide open.
Yeah.
The same with the fence. I guess we're going to replace the fence. It's right now it's split rail. Is that going to stay the same or be replaced? And
It's
if it's
not-
going to
it's
be
a-
replaced, what is it going to be?
I don't know. It's just a very simple 6-foot-high board fence right now. And I don't think we know. And in terms of the deck, the deck is drawn in the plan. And it won't be more than that. It's not going to go further
Okay.
into the backyard. We're going to develop, I'm not the landscaper. The landscape architect is going to develop the, on the grade level, patios and terraces and places to eat. It's not going to be on the deck. The deck is pretty much an entrance deck.
Okay, is it going to kind of stay parallel to the design in the back? It's not going to protrude out from
It's
that?
not going to protrude out. And it's probably going to have a step all the way along it, 2 steps all the way. It's not going to have a railing.
Okay. Robin, isn't that something you need to see though?
We're gonna need to see it for the building permit end, but as far as the commission end of the review, I mean,
It's in the back.
it might have to come back as a chair and staff if there's no details to be addressed tonight.
You answered it just what I wanted to hear. Exactly. Good. And with the fence, I guess the same way, a chair and staff on that?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, good. Let's see if I got anything else, Barbara. Like I say, the design was great. It looks like you're gonna have to lose a couple cypress trees there.
Yes, we are. I
Yeah,
feel bad about that, but we're going to do our best to replace the trees.
okay, that's good. That's what I wanted to hear too. Other than that, I think we're looking good. That shed, the shed in the back there that says shed, I didn't see anywhere. I think it basically, it doesn't appear we're gonna do anything with that because that
No.
shed looks very old.
It's
and-
a little
and looks like
spring.
it's
I
gonna
think it
stay.
was a little spring house. It's brick and it has a door on it.
It's
and
adorable, yeah.
Very sweet, yeah.
Okay. When I was looking at the property, a lady came out, she said, I'm not the owner, but she said she was directing landscapers. And she said, come back in another month, you'll like what you see.
That's pretty optimistic, another month. Wow.
And then she said, who are you? And when I told her, she didn't say anything else. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with the rest, Barbara.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Randy?
I think it's a great addition, Arlene. It's nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while, and I think that as usual, you've done a beautiful job architecturally here. I do have just 2 questions about 2 small details here. One, it appears that, and maybe it's because of the angle, but the window on the front, that would be, I guess, in that bathroom, maybe. Let me look at the floor plan. Anyhow, on the front elevation, it appears that it's a cottage style. sash
I
versus,
have all the cottage style sashes, yeah. On the back too. They're like, they're 2/3.
so they're a 1/3, 2/3 versus the 6/6 like the other.
Right.
Those
And
ones?
there's 6/1.
Okay.
Now that, yeah,
Um,
I don't feel very strongly about that in that bathroom, but to tell you, but that's what I have in the living room.
Yeah, I mean, everything else on the house, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm looking at the photographs incorrectly, but they all seem to have 6/6 and,
Yeah,
you know,
They
I was
do.
questioning why that is and if that could be the same. And then the other thing is that you show kind of a box return. And in my view of the house, it has no box returns on it. I mean, you know, you show a box return on those gable ends, and if you look at the rest of the house, it's all sloped.
you might be right about that.
So and they're nitpicky.
There
little
are some
details.
box returns. It's mixed,
Is
but
it? Yeah,
it's
I don't
big.
have a big photograph here. I just, you know, it's just such a beautiful proportionately correct house, and you do a beautiful job. I just was wondering if
Well,
it's two things that you.
this is the return at the back. At the back, we could.
Yeah.
I'm
So
gonna
it's-
look again. I'm gonna look again. You're right. And I think there are box returns at that studio, but the only building that's not in keeping is that glass studio sunroom that's in the front. And that has a million kinds of windows that don't fit into any category. But so I wasn't trying to follow that. But if 6/6 on the bathroom would make more sense, I have no problem with that.
it's directly at the street. And, you know, as a great client of mine told me several years ago, God is in the details. So, you know,
Yeah.
whatever that
Yeah.
was, those two little details would make the whole thing sing a little more, but.
Yeah, I think, well, I'm gonna look at the returns.
Yeah, that, the sunroom used to be a porch,
It was a porch, yeah,
and it was an open porch for
yeah.
a while. In fact, I forget, I know that John Lester, when they lived there, I think he wanted to enclose it, and they wouldn't let him.
Right, the people who followed him enclosed it. It's a
Yeah.
very quirky, speaking of quirky, it's, it's
And
very quirky.
I assume the porch itself was probably not original to the house.
Oh, no.
So that
never.
whole object is not original.
Neither is the back. The part I'm adding to is
Mhm.
not original.
Oh, the kitchen.
The kitchen is, no, that, I don't know how old it is, but it's definitely not original.
Mhm. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just the front section,
Yeah,
which is,
right.
it's more like,
I mean, it's old.
mhm,
What I'm adding to the kitchen part, it has a room above it. It's old, but
Mhm.
it's definitely not original.
mhm, yeah.
It's hard to know. It's really
Mhm.
hard to know.
Well, yeah, and basically all you can do, unless you're on some other kind of mission, is make it all come together.
Oh, we're gonna try. We're gonna,
You're doing a great job, Arlene.
thank you.
Good job. Let's see, Joe, I missed you. Comments?
Yeah, I bicycled by there on Sunday. I didn't want to trespass. I could have bicycled down the driveway. But I just stood at the foot of the drive and looked around. Unfortunately, couldn't see around the back. But the only question I had about looking at the plans is that the new deck only looks to be about 4 feet deep or so. And I'm just wondering how functional that is. But it's just basically glorified entrance steps leading into the back.
It's 6 feet. 6 feet deep.
6 feet wide. Okay,
Yeah. But it isn't fun, it's really a deck to walk on, I think.
right. Won't
I
be
don't see people hanging out on that deck.
Mhm.
And I don't want to put a railing up.
That's fine. No,
Yeah.
it's going to be nice. It's a nice layout, nice improvement.
Mhm. Okay. Well, I think it's fantastic, Arlene. I have nothing more to add. unless someone else has a question, would someone like to make a motion? And I'll jump at once.
I can take it on.
Great, Bill. Thank you.
Sure. I'll get my little cheat sheet you got here and see if I can do it a little better than just shooting from the hip. The home at 410 Pilottown Road on the tax map 335-4.19-97.00 is a contributing structure, and it conforms to the rhythm and scale of the street. It's using previously approved materials. It's in the Lewis Historic District. And as shown, I make a motion that we approve as shown to us.
Okay, I have a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Joe.
Second.
Okay. And then we'll go around and everybody will give their reason and how they're going to vote. And Bill, you made the motion. We'll start with you.
Okay, as I mentioned, the rhythm and scale is not affected by the new design, or in other words, it matches the existing house. So it fits in perfectly. The materials are the materials that we approve as a commission. The home is beautifully portrayed. The only thing I'd say is take the fence and the decking back for chair and staff. And in that case, I'll approve.
Okay. And George?
Yes, I approve the application or the motion as submitted. I think it's a wonderful design. I think that it does follow the rhythm and scale, etc. So good job.
Thank you.
Phil?
Yes, I also vote to approve. It is a beautiful job. It was a difficult job to get those roofs to all come together, but it has the right, even though it is a large house, it appears, because it's broken into sections, it has the right scale for the historic district.
Okay, good point. Randy?
For all the reasons stated by the previous commissioner's statements, I vote to approve as submitted.
Okay, Joe?
I will be voting to approve. It's a nice little project, and for all the reasons previously stated, I like it.
Okay, I also vote to approve and commend Arlene. Fantastic job, great project.
Sure,
And,
very good.
yes,
Right.
you just made the house even better. So
Thank you. Thank you.
congratulations.
Look
Yeah,
forward. Thank you all.
you're very welcome.
I'll see you next month. I'm
Okay.
back to the porthole window.
Yes. Return visit. Okay.
I'm muting. I'm going to stay and listen.
Oh, good. Okay. Next, we have presentation and possible action on a request by Richard Gottwald and James Harden for the renovation of the existing dwelling and construction of an addition, including swimming pool, recreation area, and a fence. The property is located at 618 Kings Highway, Sussex County Tax Map 335-8.15-37.00, R-4H contributing. And who is presenting? Do we have a presenter for this project?
Brennan from Element is on
Here
there.
we go.
I'm not sure which one. I don't know if it's Brendan.
Yep,
If you were
I'm
doing-
here. I was just muted.
Okay.
So Brendan, architect at Element.
Great, Brendan, welcome. So you want to walk us through your project?
Sure. So we're doing an addition to the old house. Let me just pull up the drawing here. So we're adding on, that living area and a screen porch to create a space the outdoor space with the deck and the pool toward DeVries. And then we are, and then the rest of the, a lot of the renovations are interior. And we also have an exterior, like an addition, porch / storage area down the driveway side. And the idea was to basically take the design of that existing house and use that as our inspiration for the addition, keep it, try to keep it Lewis-like. So.
Yes. Well, I think you did a great job. It's
Thank you.
It's turned out to be a larger house, but again, like what Arlene's project right before you, it's broken up so that you don't feel like it's some humongous house. I did have to hunt to see where the garage went, but I found it. The garage becomes the master bedroom, but
that
it was like, it kind of just, it morphed into a master bedroom. I had to hunt a little.
Yep.
I knew it was there, and I knew it wasn't demolished, so it had to be there. Anyway, well, let's go around and have the commissioners ask questions or whatever. George, do you want to start?
Yeah, I don't have any questions. I applaud your design. I think it's very exceptional. I think it will look good from Kings Highway and DeVries Circle. I love it.
Okay. All right. Phil?
I think it's a great design also. It really takes all the elements and pulls them, all the elements of the house and pulls it together. And it is a large house. And again, because there are different parts to it, the scale of it isn't overwhelming. The scale fits in with the historic district. I have one question though, and I can't find the notes and the drawings, but somewhere in the drawings, you say something about the front porch, all the elements of the front porch are going to be retained. So that I assume that means the columns that are there and the trim right under the fascia board, right under the roof. But then looking on the drawing and look at the stairs are brick and with wrought iron or iron railings. And then you look at the design, the new stairs. I'm not sure there. I don't know why you don't keep the old stairs. It looks the new stairs looks lightweight in compared to the rest of the house. It doesn't look. They don't look strong enough to be the main stair.
No, we'll be keeping those stairs. We'll be keeping the brick stairs that are there.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
that's
then the
our
columns. Columns.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
I think just we didn't really address those. The front porch was staying as is, like the with the railing and also the brick steps.
Okay.
So they just didn't.
That was the only thing I was.
They just didn't show up in the 3D, maybe.
Yeah. Correct. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but I think the everything is coming together really well, and I approve of the design. I think it's great.
Great.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Bill?
Yes, thank you. I was just blown away with it. And this is one time, I've seen so many drawings come before us that I've been part of the commission, and I see our town just blossoming, just one good project after another. And when I looked at this one, I said, boy, here's another enhancement to our town. This is a great piece of work, Element. Okay, so I got a couple questions. I noticed there's a hearing sign on the yard. I guess we're bringing those two lots together, and the hearing is on the 21st of April. So if they should disapprove, then what we're adding on here would not be, we couldn't do it, right?
Correct. Yeah, we would have, go
Yeah.
ahead, Robin.
Yeah, this would be done basically the same way as we did the previous month on 4th Street. The motion would be contingent upon approval of the consolidation of the lots by the city.
Okay, great. Okay, great.
Just for what it's worth, my understanding is these two lots, they were one lot before, and then before the Spencers sold the house, I guess they subdivided.
Yeah,
This would just be going back to the situation as it was before the subdivision.
okay. Should be easy. Okay.
One never knows, but it doesn't sound as challenging as many things.
Okay. Okay, I just wanted to ask the question because make sure. Now the door that's on there now looks like an original to the house. And it appears from the drawing here, we're taking that door out and we're putting a metal door in.
No, no, the front door will remain. We're not replacing that. I think that was another
Okay,
we're not dealing with that.
okay. And how about the chimney? It has a cap on the old, but on the new, it doesn't show that. Is that the same too?
Yep, that'll stay exactly as it is.
Okay, making my job easier. I really, really like what you did with the garage. You didn't tear it down. You enhanced it by making a master bath out of that and kept it. That's great. Good piece of work. In the
Thank you.
back, when I was walking along, looking at the property, it looks like a couple wells back there. Are they approved by the city to be used? Are they going to be kept? Or, I mean, that's beyond what I normally look at, but I was just wondering. They're not going to be used to supply the pool, water for the pool or anything, right?
No, and actually they have a landscape architect that's working with them also. And if anything, they were for irrigation, I believe.
I think that house might have geothermal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is that what I'm seeing there then? Is a couple wells, kind of two wells in the back. Kind of built on the mound.
I think that's the go down and the bring up and the put back down wells.
All right, thank you very much.
I could be wrong, but my recollection is the Spencer said geothermal.
Okay.
No, yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Bonnie, you can't leave.
I've been telling her that.
Yeah, I know.
That hasn't worked.
We're gonna really miss her.
I'm going to put her as a write-in.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. I will get one vote. I appreciate it.
No, you won't. I'm going to start campaigning next week.
Other than that, you answered all my questions. It's just a beautiful piece of work. And I'm looking forward to the day it's up.
All right, good.
Okay.
That means a lot.
Thank you, Bill. Randy?
Brendan, I think that it's a beautiful gateway project that you guys have developed. I mean, you guys always have a great eye for what's happening in Lewis and try to do all the good things that make the town that much better. Along in the existing drawings of the Harden Gottwald house, it shows, or the photographs, they are 1/1 windows existing, and all of your renderings show 6/6, including the addition. Is that in fact the way that that's going to go? So are all the windows in the house either having mullions installed or being replaced?
Yes, yeah, actually the owner looked into, they actually ordered some inserts because the windows right now can take the inserts.
Yep.
So we're looking at doing the 6/6 for the addition as well as installing the inserts on the existing.
Okay. And the metal roof is part of the plan right now and will be part of the plan?
Yes.
Okay. Those are my only two questions. I think it's an outstanding design. It'll be a beautiful anchor to the entrance of that side of Lewis.
Okay.
Good, thank you.
Joe?
Yeah, just a couple of questions. When I bicycled by there, I had the old site plan from 1998. and I was slightly confused. I'm looking at the building that had a 618 house number on it, and I'm looking at the old site plan, which has 618 on the empty lot next door. So I'm guessing that's reflects the previous owners who had the whole thing under 618?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what it would be.
that's
Yeah.
how it was. Okay. And then Barbara answered my question about what happens to the contributing garage. It now gets
Yeah.
sucked into the house. It was good. I just
I
thought about
know,
that.
surprise.
Yeah, there it goes. Okay. And then the only other thing was, like Randy brought up about the roof, it's the comments say about the new metal roof will match the existing, which is red. I'm just wondering, how long has that red roof been up there, and will a new red roof next to it be a contrast? But as long as you don't abut the new with the old, I guess you're safe. You know, just the old's probably pretty well faded. So if you have new angles and new sections, you're good there.
Right. Yeah, we're looking, they're looking at a grayer roof rather than the red roof, actually.
Oh,
And so they want to take the existing roof to that gray color also.
oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, replacement. All right, I like the project. It's good. It'll be nice.
Okay.
All right,
Joe.
thank you.
Yeah, I have, going back to the windows, we have previously been strongly urging true divided light windows as opposed to snap-ins, which are usually pretty apparent from the street.
Okay.
But the existing windows aren't being replaced. They're just, I mean, you don't, did the house ever have mullions? I mean, could you not just go with, leave the windows alone instead of the snap-ins?
Right.
Um,
I mean, I can talk to them about that and have that discussion. It was just one of those things we were back and forth on with them on whether to, get it looking like the 6/6 or, like you said, leave it as 1/1.
I mean, if the 1/1 is true to the house, then that would be more appropriate in the theme of preservation, restoration.
Yes, I don't know that they're true to the house though. I have to
New window.
I believe they're new windows.
Yeah.
Or newer. 'Cause, like Anderson type.
Probably. Yeah.
Madam Chair and Brennan, the owners are on
Yeah.
Okay.
because Rich commented on the geothermal and Bonnie was right.
Oh,
Right.
Geothermal.
okay.
Correct.
All right.
So, I mean, I can,
Yeah, I mean, the old survey, which we have, just says 1/1 double hung sash windows in the 1992 survey.
Richard and James.
Yeah.
Rich, hey, Rich, if you just unmute yourself, please.
Yep, can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, well, yeah, first of all, thank you, and we agree, Brendan's done a great job, we think, on the house, so thank you all for the comments there. So we're kind of agnostic to the windows. I will say that our next door neighbor, Ed and Molly, their windows they're like 12/1. So if you're just comparing it to what a neighboring house has. I personally like the 6/1, but we're agnostic to it.
Yeah, I mean, you really should be true to the house and not your neighbors so much.
Yeah.
Rich,
The house was built in 1799.
Can you refresh my memory? Are those are replacement windows, right? In the existing house.
But they were inserts,
Yeah.
right? Aren't they inserts into the original?
So the windows themselves, I think, were put in a renovation in the 80s. And then we recently just went out, as Brendan said, we bought a couple of inserts for the front two windows to see what a 6/1 would look like. So we currently just have two inserts sitting in the windows. the intention was if we went 6/6 on the addition, we would put inserts in. But right now, there is no intention to exchange all those windows for true 6/6.
Mhm.
So I think if your direction was to say 1/1, then we would carry that into the addition and do 1/1 there as well.
Okay, well, I'm basing it on the 1992 survey. And what date did you say the house was built?
1799. The
Because,
original front piece there.
oh, just a sort of like the one room sort of, or the front
Yeah,
section.
I guess it's a 4/4 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, because the survey called it a 1920 house.
Yeah.
The 92 survey. Hmm. So it's,
Yeah, the planks in the living room are 14 inches wide. They're really incredible old floors there.
okay. All right, well, I think based on the reference information we have and the fact that the replacement windows, I guess they matched the original 1/1, right?
Well, there wouldn't have been a preservation there. I would imagine that original house was moved there because there wasn't much in Lewis in 1799 in that area. When the train station and all that stuff was built, those were the outback lands of Lewis at that point when the train station was built. So that house was probably relocated there, and it probably had older windows. That original front section moved there in 1920. And they wouldn't have had 1/1 glass
No.
in 1790.
No.
They couldn't make glass that big. in 17.
No.
Right.
And
Well,
the front of the house is much more colonial looking than any other structures in that area of town until you get up to Jefferson and Washington and those streets where there's older.
Yeah, and you know what Randy said, we just kind of made the assumption, I guess, that it looks like a colonial style house. And these houses typically have that 6/6. You know, that's what we usually see in terms of pattern. So I guess the question would be like, let's say we don't touch the existing at all. Would it be up to the owner to say, okay, we either want 1/1 or 6/6 in the addition?
well, I mean, my thought, I'm curious about what the other commissioners say, but I mean, if 6/6 is your desired window look, then would you put the true divided lights where you buy new windows? I mean, that would be the thing to do if you're going to do that.
You mean like inserts, Barbara?
No, like the true divided, you know, the almost true divided lights, not the pop-ins.
Oh,
SDLs, simulated divided light.
Okay, simulated divided lights, which is what we always sort of semi-require people to do. So it doesn't have that artificial look. The same as when we do shutters, we require them to have the operating hardware, whether that they ever operate or not.
Gotcha.
And it changes the look tremendously from the street. So
Yeah, it does.
yeah, so I guess.
So this is Rich again. I would just comment on that we would love to do that. We have to see from a budget perspective once we get down. There's a lot of windows in that house because the other side is not seeing them as well. But I mean, I understand your point totally, and it's a matter of budget.
Yeah,
and we'll have to see what that looks like.
Okay, all right. I just, I don't know. Let's see what anybody else says if they think
Well,
I'm.
I agree with
targeted.
Randy. The date of the house that the house was constructed would have had 6/6 windows because they didn't have glass
Right.
that was big and large enough to have just 1/1 window.
Right.
It just wasn't so at that time. So the original house would have had 6/6.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think anybody disagrees with that. So the question is, what would be the appropriate action at this time? You know, you currently have 1/1 windows, and if you want to. Bill, any thoughts?
Well, I like the 6/6, and if it, as he mentioned, the boards inside the house takes you back further than 1920, then the appropriate would be 6/6.
Okay.
I'm wondering, looking at it from the street, could you just change out the windows in the front and go with, as you recommended, and then with the remainder, leave them as pop-ins or whatever you call them?
Well, yeah, I think the other thing too is, there's parts of the guidelines do talk about identifying new additions and things like that from the existing, so that, I mean, I don't know that it would be unheard of if you wanted to just do 1/1 in the addition. I mean, if it was cost prohibitive to do the simulated divided lights and 6/6, if that, ruins the budget or something.
Yeah.
I think it's,
Would it be appropriate to ask the owner, the applicant, to withdraw this application right now and look into the cost and of having 6/6 windows, and what are the alternatives, and come back next month?
well, I don't think we want it withdrawn because that's going to hold up the project. I think we can approve it and do a chair and staff review on the final decision on windows, if everybody else is comfortable with that.
I'd be comfortable.
Yeah, it's good.
I could make a motion if you'd like.
Yes, I would.
Can
Okay.
I make one comment first?
Sure.
I just want to say, Ted Spencer was a friend of ours, he's passed on, but he is definitely smiling down on this. The other thing, and this is something that I brought up last night at the mayor and council meeting, is when you dig for this pool, please be very careful to look where the groundwater goes. I mean, the water table on debris circle is pretty high, so I don't think you're going to have a problem with that. But we have had a number of anecdotal concerns raised about people putting in pools that has caused problems for their neighbors. Now, this pool, I think, is going to be pretty far away from anybody, since it's on that corner lot. But just be careful when you dig, just to take a good look at where the water goes. Just a request.
Yeah,
It has nothing to do
yeah,
with.
absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Sure thing.
Okay. So Randy, you were gonna make a motion?
Yeah, I'll, as George says, I'll give it a good try.
I'm sure you'll do
Do
great.
your best.
In the matter of the application of 618 Kings Highway, tax parcel number 335-8.15-37.00, I make a recommendation in accordance with our jurisdictions exercise in 197-57 and relating to 197-59, which speaks to the criteria and standards of HPARC Commission, that this application be approved as submitted, including the ability of the owner to install retrofitted grills at the existing windows, and to do simulated divided light windows on the addition of the structure. And otherwise, no other changes to the application, knowing that according to the architect of record, Brennan, that the front steps and the front porch as drawn or as photographed and existing will remain, and that it will not be done as the drawings show. So that's fine.
Okay, George?
I have a quick question. Randy,
Can I-
could you repeat what you said? After install retrofitted grills on the front windows, what did you say about the windows in the addition?
I said the grills on the existing structure. I mean, it could be just the front windows if they want, or all of them. I would prefer to see all of them if they're going to do it. And then that on the addition, they use a simulated divided light window, which is what we typically ask everybody to do. And it's really not going to be, whether it's an Anderson or a Marvin or a Pella, it's not going to be of consequence much relative to the cost of each of those windows. And I think they would end up with a winning result at the end of it.
Okay.
Right. I just needed that for my notes for the a letter. Also, is this condition on the approval from the Board of Adjustments or the city?
Yes, subject, of course, subject to the reassembly of the lots.
Yeah, and that's Board of Adjustment.
That's Planning Commission.
Planning Commission. Okay, thank you.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll
Second.
second this.
Who? Bill?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We're going to go around and vote one at a time. Randy, you made the motion. You can vote first.
In accordance to the motion that I entered, for all of the reasons just stated and penned up real nicely by George, I vote in favor of this application.
Okay. George?
Yes, I also vote in favor of it. I think it's a wonderful design. It'll be a great addition to Kings Highway and DeVries. And also a nice segue into the historic district.
Yes, very much so.
Absolutely.
Phil?
Materials fit our requirements. The design is perfect in relation to the house that's existing there now. The addition is a perfect fit. So the rhythm and scale is in order. Yes, I agree. It would be a great addition coming into the city of Lewis.
Okay. Phil?
Yes, I vote in favor of the application. It is a beautiful job. I love the way all of the elements are brought together that make one large house appear to be a small house. And it's the right rhythm and scale for the historic district. So I vote yes.
Okay, thank you. Joe?
I vote yes for all the reasons previously stated. It's a good project. Like it.
Thank you. And I too vote yes. I think it's a very sensitive project, challenging one. And as other people have mentioned, the rhythm and scale, combining many spaces to an existing house and not have it become a monster. It's very well designed. It's a great location and compliant with all our regulations. So congratulations. So the
Thank you
motion-
very much.
You are very welcome. Look forward to watching the process. Yeah.
Yes, no, we appreciate it.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.
Beautiful addition.
All right. Let's see. Moving right along. Lost my agenda for a minute. Okay, next is C4, presentation and possible action on a request by Patrick and Heather Foley for the demolition of the existing dwelling and accessory structure for the construction of a new dwelling and accessory structure on the property located at 213 Monroe Avenue, Sussex County Tax Map 335-8.12-73.10 R-4H non-contributing. And who is going to present?
Brenda's here. Brenda, you just need to unmute yourself.
Brennan, you have to unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Patrick and Heather Foley should also be on.
Did they want to be added?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Miss Mrs. Foley, both of you just need to unmute yourself, please. Okay, I think everybody's here.
Okay. All right. And
So this is presentation for 213 Monroe Avenue for a demo of a non-contributing house and plans for reconstruction.
okay. You want to say anything about the project besides that?
Patrick, Heather, do you want to go?
You want to?
What are we supposed to say? What would you like to know?
Oh,
What questions do you have? I guess that's a better place to start because I'm new to this. I don't know. I'm happy to answer questions if I can.
oh, well, no, I just wondered if you had anything you wanted to add or say about the project and
So we purchased this home 10 years ago. We've loved it. It's been wonderful to us. But you know, you could tell it was aging, kind of crumbling around the corners, things kind of falling apart. And we've always wanted to live. We've grown in love with the town. And our thought was to just, you know, build a property that we can retire one day in that meets all of the needs that we would ever want as a retired couple.
Mhm.
And that's essentially what this house is for us.
Great, great. That's all we need to know right now. All right, I'm going to
So
go
the house-
around.
You can see the house is, by the information we have submitted, the house is non-contributing.
Mhm. So we don't have any issues, Robin, do we, with demolition? Do we have to do any kind of vote or something?
Normally in the past, what you've done is you did a separate vote for the demolition, and that's
Okay.
including the demolition of the existing shed or accessory structure out back also.
Okay,
Because it's on the
Quick
applicant.
question, we don't need a public hearing.
No, because it's non-contributing.
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, we did that recently also. Okay, does any of the commissioners have any questions before I ask for a motion to approve a demolition of the existing structures on the property?
Just a quick question, does the front elevation that's going to face Monroe, right?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So if no one has any comments or questions, none of the commissioners, would someone make a motion?
Maybe I just want to ask a question, Barbara.
Sure.
The shutters.
Phil, we're
on
just
the front
talking,
elevation.
Phil, we're just talking
Yeah.
about a motion to demolish the house and
Oh,
outbuilding.
sorry.
That's
Okay.
all we're talking about right now. Yeah, we have to get past that
Okay.
first. And so if nobody has any comments or questions about the request for demolition of the existing structures on the property, would someone make a motion to approve that request?
I can do
Sure, I'll make the motion that we approve the demolition of the existing structure on the property identified as 213 Monroe Avenue, tax parcel 335-18.12-73.0.
And that would be the two structures, the dwelling and the accessory structure.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
sorry, both, yes, all existing structures.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a second.
I'll second that.
Who was that?
That's Bill.
Bill.
Bill, thank you. I didn't see you, so I. Okay. All in favor? Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay. Brian, do we have to go around one by one? I think it's pretty clear. It's non-contributing.
If you don't mind making a record, I think that might be helpful, Madam Chair.
Okay, I'll make a comment first and everybody else can repeat it if they want or agree. I vote to approve the request for the demolition request for all structures on the property at 213 Monroe Avenue to enable them to construct their forever house. It's a non-contributing project property, and there's no reason not to approve it. Somebody else, George, you want to vote and give your reason? George?
Yeah, I'm coming, sorry.
Okay.
I had to turn a light on.
Okay.
Yeah, I vote in favor of the motion to demolish all existing structures on the property because it is non-contributing, and we want to get to that design, that
Okay.
new design, beautiful house.
Yeah. Phil?
Is that Phil?
Yes, Phil.
Okay. I vote in favor of the motion. It's the non-contributing house and I see nothing standing in the way of demolition.
Thank you. Bill?
I vote to demolish it based on all the comments previously made.
Thank you. Randy?
I also vote to approve the demolition of this structure for all previous comments made and that it is in compliance with our authority and it's going to be a great new house.
Great. Thank you. Joe?
I approve, vote for demolition based on all the previous comments.
Okay, thank you very much. So that has passed for the demolition request. So now we can move on to the fun part. And we're going to go back around again for the commissioners to ask any questions or have comments, as I'm sure they will. Let's see. Joe, do you want to start?
Yes, I like the design. It's just one question I had, it's probably a Brenda Jones question, is on the new garage, why did you pick a steel garage door? Wouldn't that be prone to corrosion here in our salty atmosphere as opposed to an aluminum door?
Well, that was done rather quickly, and it was probably based more on the profile of the door. So that could certainly become a fiberglass door, as long as it's an insulated fiberglass door.
Of course, yeah. It's just a matter of resistance, so it's just a matter of that. The other thing I like is the shutters with the whale logo.
Uh-huh.
And I think to literally top that off, a weather vane on top of the house with the whale logo up there would help tie it all together. If you had a weather vane on the peak.
Well, maybe
the plans. That's in the plans. We didn't know we needed to put it on there, but
well, it
maybe.
would tie in with
We'll
the shutters
see.
nicely. That's what I do. All right, thank you. I'm done.
Okay, thank you. Randy?
I think as Brenda typically does, it's a beautiful design that's going to fit into the streetscape of the historic district of Lewis, and it'll be a beautiful addition to town. I also love the whales. Will they be pink shutters with blue whales?
No.
Blue shutters with pink whales.
Maybe fluorescent pink. You never know.
That
No,
might not
will
work
be
out
pink.
so well. Yeah, it's the scale and proportion of it is great, and it'll be a wonderful addition to that area.
All right, thanks, Randy. Bill?
Yes, beautiful, beautiful design. I did have one question though. There's 3 windows with the shutters. And I'm just looking at symmetrics. If you were symmetrically designing this, you would go with the windows that are over to the left, and then that would follow perfect symmetry, but I'm not going to get hung up on that. Follow me?
Are you saying that the windows to the left of the front door? to have shutters over there as well?
No, I'm
No,
saying that,
right.
I'm saying the windows to the left of the door, if you had another set, in other words, you mimicked what you had on the left over to the right, not those three small windows with shutters on them, then symmetrically, this would be perfect. But
Are you
everybody.
Are you saying to replicate the three windows above them on the right-hand side?
No, I'm saying what's on the left on the
Yeah.
first level. If you replicated that over to the right where you have those three windows with shutters,
Right.
then symmetrically it would be perfectly in design.
And it would also mirror what's above, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Can I say something? The ones to the, if you're looking at the house to the left, that's an actual bump out. The ones to the right, and that's like dining room windows, so to speak. The ones to the right are bathroom and closet.
The three?
The
three
ones,
windows?
if you're looking at the house to the right,
Yeah, those three windows?
that's why they're not likey. Because I'm all about balance and I want everything to be the same. It drives me crazy when it's not, but that's the reason. If that helps
Okay,
at all.
so those three windows are in three different spaces.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, and also that it wouldn't quite be symmetrical anyway, because from the left of the front door to the right side, the roof, the wall heights are higher than they are at the left side. So, I mean, I don't think it's not supposed to look symmetrical. It's supposed to maybe look like it was built in different time areas, you know, where perhaps maybe the from the front door to the right was maybe built at one point, and then at the left was an addition put on later time. So it's not supposed to look like it's just a brand new house.
Well,
Do you
if you can't
understand?
do it because of you've got a room in each window there, I can live with that, you know? But it begged of a question there when I was looking at how it was designed, because it's a beautiful little home here. And so that's, if it's a window for each room, then, you know, in that case, you have to give and take here a little, you know?
Well, it's important, Bill, because each of the closets get their own window this way. The her closet and the him closet.
Yeah,
him
yeah. When
closet.
you're retired, you need a lot of closets.
There's no him closet.
No?
All her.
Never is.
Oh, hers. Oh, must be a misprint.
There never is. That sounds like my home. I don't have a closet. Okay, that's all I had, Barbara.
Okay. Phil.
Yeah, I was I think it's a beautiful design, and I like it because it's not one big rectangle, but but the elements that come together are small elements, and so the scale, once again, it mimics the scale of the historic district. I just wonder though, the drawing for the garage doesn't say that the corner boards, or you call them trim boards, the corner boards match are they 4 inches? Do they match the corner boards on the house? I would like to know.
They will.
Yeah, well, I just need to know that this garage is going to look like it belongs to this house. And so the corner boards will match. And are they 4 inches? Are they 6 inches? And so that they're strong. And is there a water table? Because on the garage, it begins to look like there's a water table. The bottom board on the siding on the garage is wide, and then on the house it's narrow. So that may be just part of the drawing, but
I think that's
it's detailed.
Isn't that the foundation, the parged?
The foundation goes down. Yes, the siding stops, the foundation goes down.
It's labeled on the front view of the garage as parged concrete.
Right. I'm not talking about that part. I'm talking about the next board above, to make sure that that's not that's just a siding board that's the same dimension as the rest of them, or is it a water table? And when you get to the house, the bottom board is the same dimension as the bottom board on the garage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a drawing hiccup.
Right, it would be, obviously, when they, put the siding on, they start at the bottom and go up. So the bottom
Right.
board will always be the same. Yes,
On the garage and the house.
yes.
And then on the garage, you label on the front elevation of the garage, you label the panel, clopay steel door.
Yes, and I am willing to change that to a fiberglass door.
Okay, yes, and will those 4 panels on the garage door be raised panels? Will they be recessed panels? Will there be trim around them? They're not just going to be a single line.
No, they are just as in the clopay, you may not be able to see the definition, but they're inset panels.
Okay, so so the line around the inset panel, is it molding? Is it does it just go back at a right angle? I'm
Is there a
wondering, are they trimmed panels on the garage door?
Is there a cut sheet for the? garage?
Well, they're clopay, carriage style doors. I mean, they come all together as that, but typically, yes, it is a flat panel garage door, and then those are trim pieces on there.
Right, so it would be more appropriate to have a double line there than a single line. If it's trimmed, if those panels are trimmed around the perimeter, is there a dimension to the trim? Like the windows above, you see there's a double line around the windows.
Right.
So
It would look like
that's
the
trim.
clopay cut sheet that,
I'm not familiar with
It's in the packet.
clopay steel doors.
Well, you mean the photograph?
right, there's a picture of the door right there.
Okay, it looks different here than the one on your drawing. Is it meant to look like the photograph?
It
Is it
would
meant to
look like
this?
it-
Is that what it's?
that is not the correct, that drawing was taken out of the packet.
Oh, not mine.
It's a recessed flat panel door, is what it is. It's a recessed
Okay.
flat panel door.
So the panel, the face of the door comes across, then you, at a right angle, there's a recess, and then the flat panel goes across. So there is no trim between the frame of the door and the panel. See, it's shown as a single line.
It's okay, Phil. I think, why don't you just submit the cut sheet? The cut sheet you decide to use, Brenda.
Okay, well, I mean, it is, I did submit that.
Well, that's
Do you-
that's what I just held up. That's what's in the packet. Is it this one?
Yes, it is that one.
And
Okay.
that's the one I'm now looking at, and I see there is a something that would be noted as the double line.
Okay.
I mean, the clopay doors, they have been used on garages in town. I believe that's pretty close to what I have on my garage here.
Okay.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure there was some detail to it, some colonial detail, so that it wasn't just something stamped out of a piece of metal or plastic.
Well, I think it's going to be plastic. Yeah, plastic now.
And then
Okay.
then the shutters, there's shutter stays that are shown on the shutters, and so they're just cosmetic shutter stays, I assume.
Well, they are actually, they would operate. They are functional hardware.
Okay, and so the shutters then are, you can pull them closed?
Yes, you can.
Great.
Yeah, that's That's the hardware we generally request.
Okay. Those are my questions. I have no trouble with the small windows on one side and the group of 3 windows on the other side. No problem whatsoever.
Anything else, Phil?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Great. No, thank you. George,
Yeah, I'm just curious, what color is the brick gonna be on the chimney and fireplace? I mean, not that it matters, I'm just curious.
Fuchsia? Wrong answer. No. I'm kidding.
As
It's
long
not
as it's not
fuchsia.
pink.
It's not fuchsia. It's not turquoise either.
Okay,
Well, the house is going to be a beige color, so
Mhm.
something that would be neutral and sort of blend in with that. It
Okay.
wouldn't be like a bright orange but I honestly, to be 100% honest with you, I don't know all of the shades of brick. I didn't even know there were that many choices, but
Well, there
something
are,
that
yeah.
would sort of, we don't want it to stand out and say, here's our chimney,
right.
you know, sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a point of contention, it was just, I was just curious.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm sorry, I don't have an answer.
yeah, what is the, did you include some palette colors, Brenda? I may have missed them.
Palette colors for,
Just the general, just the whole building.
Did we have to submit that?
No, you don't have to. I'm
Because
just
that may have
asking.
been my fault because I didn't tell Brenda.
No, I just wondered if you had sort of a general, like you mentioned beiges right now.
Yeah, neutral, nothing crazy,
Okay.
nothing
And the window, the factory finished windows?
white.
Okay, great. Windows. Okay, all right. Anything else, George?
No, that was it.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, I think it's a lovely design, nice design. You know, I loved your cute little house that you're tearing down, but I certainly understand it served its purpose. And
Well, I welcome you to come take a look inside. It's lovely.
well,
But
thank
you'll
you.
see, well, we were told it was moved here, not to tie up the meeting, but it was a mechanic's house for a while and it's broken up like there was a shop inside the
Oh,
house. So
okay.
this change will be very welcome.
Yes, yes, you'll enjoy it. You'll have a
Yeah.
lot of fun with it too.
Yeah.
And no, I think it's a very nice design. It's going to sit nice on the property. You know, it has nice rhythm and scale to it. And I like, Brenda, the way you've moved things in and out, you know, so it's you know, has interesting elements to it. So
thank you.
yeah, congratulations on that. If there are no other questions or comments, I'd like a motion. Don't all jump at once.
Can I make a motion?
I'll
Afraid
give it a
not.
go.
Okay, thank you, George.
Hold on, wait, my notes here. No, we didn't put this on condition of anything, right?
No, no, we don't.
Oh, then this will be an easy one.
Well, it's, the only thing was if I understood Brenda correctly, the submitted steel door is actually going to be an insulated fiberglass door, correct, Brenda?
Yes.
Okay, so you can include that as the only change.
Insulated fiberglass door.
Mhm.
Okay. Because the application concerns a property that is located at 213 Monroe Avenue, tax map number 335-8.12-73.01, and is non-contributing and conforms with the rhythm and scale requirements and is in the Lewis Historic District. I move that the application be approved with the following changes. And that is the garage door will be an insulated fiberglass door.
Okay. Someone want a second?
Second.
Who was that, Randy
Or Joe, either one.
or Joe? Okay. All right.
A double second.
Okay, 2 seconds. All right, we're gonna go around. Everybody's gonna give their reason, how they're gonna vote and the reason behind it. George, you made the motion. Do you want to start?
Sure. I think it's a wonderful design. Brenda, you did a great job again, and Mr. and Mrs. Foley also did a good job in getting that done. And I think that it will conform to the streetscape and be a nice addition to that corner of Monroe. So I vote to approve.
Thank you. Phil? Phil?
I vote, Bill or Phil?
You, Phil. PH, Phil.
Me?
He is in Paul.
Okay,
Phil.
I vote.
You, go ahead.
I vote in favor. I voted in favor of approval, the house, so there are a lot of elements being brought together. It contributes to the rhythm and scale of the historic district, and so I therefore vote yes, approval.
Thank you. Thank you. Bill Landon?
Yes, thank you. The scale's perfect for that location. I think it's also the very materials that you're using, the design of the home has a lot of taste. You can see the person who designed that had a lot of good taste in designing a home. Kudos to them. Brenda, you did a good job with the architectural piece of this. I would recommend you leave the old Volkswagen on the left side. That would fit in perfectly with the home.
We're doing that as a favor for the neighbor. We tried to keep it. We tried.
Oh, okay.
You could make a planter out of it.
Great addition. Okay, so I think it's a great addition to the area, and you're retiring here. Welcome aboard, hopefully soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Randy?
I think that for all of the reasons that the other commissioners have stated, and because this is a well-designed home that fits into the historic rhythm and scale of Lois, it'll be a great addition. I vote to approve, and can't wait to ride by on my bike and see how cool it looks.
Okay,
I say pink and blue though, pink and blue.
Fuchsia, fuchsia.
Joe?
I vote yes. It's a great design for all the previous reasons given. I approve. Yes, nice.
Thank you. I too vote to approve. I think for all the reasons already stated, it's compliant with our guidelines and our ordinance, and it's going to fit very nicely on that street. I think it's going to be a great asset. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, moving right along on the agenda.
There's two
here.
questions down below.
Oh,
There's two questions down there.
oh, Q&A.
They're old questions.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, yep.
Moving
they're
on.
old. They're done. All right, thank you, Joe. Okay, moving right along to unfinished business. Let's see, I've got some notes here on some of this stuff. So the first is the update, discussion, and possible action on the resurvey of the Historic District Phase 1 through 7. So I had a meeting with Robin and the mayor, Bonnie, and Anne Marie regarding the resurvey project. And it turns out the city, Anne Marie said that she was very confident that the city would be able to take the current surveys as they stand and come up with an online program that they'd be able to interface. In a sense, you might be able to plug in an address or look at a map, or the details. Of course, the devil's in the details, but she was very confident that they would be able to handle that. We would not have to have somebody from the outside put that together, which was my concern, one of my concerns. So I was in contact with the University of Delaware, with Chad, who's done all the survey phases, and asked them to resend, to send by email each phase, because it's a big volume of stuff. So they were sent out to Robin and also to Anne Marie last week. Robin, you received yours, correct?
Yes, 1 through
6.
6. Yes.
Yes. 7 still is waiting for state approval.
Correct.
And so what I want to do is want to send them to each of the commissioners. So you'll get 6 emails. You already have in your binder phase 1. That's already been printed and included in there way back when. But over time, you know, there's been updates to several of these buildings over 6 years. We all know that. And so there will be a process that we'll have to go back and periodically do updates on individual surveys of different structures. But right now we're going to review what we have and then see whether we can actually use them using them at the same time. We also use the information from the 92 survey, because I think there's value in that too. I'm sure there's going to be some glitches somewhere along the line, and we'll have some corrections that'll have to be made as we start to utilize these things. But I think we're gonna start there. So expect to be looking for these in the coming days, and I think that's pretty much it. All I have for that item.
Madam Chair, if I
Anybody have
may,
any questions? Sure.
again, as the Chairperson Warnell said, you've already received the first phase in your book. There's a mess of pages for all the rest of them. I think phase 6, I think, is 160 some pages. 5 is 143 pages. So it would be nice at some point if the city would copy all these for you and put them in a complete binder.
Mhm.
That way you would have them. So that would be something that I would work on. Of course, the binders that you have now would be a little bit larger.
Mhm.
But at least you would have the updated information at your disposal right away instead of me printing out individual ones for the packets.
Well, by my emailing them, everybody will have them on their computer.
That's correct.
Mhm. And
Yeah,
then,
I would rather have that than a big fat binder.
Okay, that's fine. We just need to start utilizing them.
yeah, I think, I think this is, there'll be a bit of a learning curve because we don't have a directory. So if you're looking for a particular address, you may, but when you see it, it's similar to the one that's in the binder. It has, you see a street map and it's colored for the phase. So if you're looking in for phase 3, you'll see what streets, and then you may have to go to a couple different phases to find a particular house if it borders 2 phases. But it's I think we have to get started with it anyway. And that was the feeling of the mayor and Anne Marie as well. I know Robin and I have wanted to. We just hadn't figured out quite how to do it. So that's what we're going to do. So look for those. Let's see what else I had written down here. The next item, the discussion of state Delaware Historic Preservation Tax Credit Program and possible Zoom workshop with SHPO. We talked about that the last couple of meetings, and since Preservation Delaware has already done this workshop on Zoom, and the recording is now available, you can actually go back if you weren't able to participate when they did the presentation a couple of months ago. You can actually go Google Preservation Delaware, and on their website, you should be able to click on that recording. It's our program, and it addresses a lot of the ins and outs, and I believe it has contact information too for tax credits. So we can still do our own Zoom meeting at some point if you think it's you'd like to do that. Or
Let's watch the video first, and if we need we can schedule a session.
Yeah, I would recommend that. I've seen it, and they've offered to provide Zoom to us and connect and cover any questions or concerns we may have. Now, I might say, Barbara, when everybody's looked at it or wants to, I'd be more than glad to jump in and coordinate that effort with
Okay.
Jimbo and have them join in with us if that's what we desire to do.
Okay, and I think at that point, it would be nice to set it up, schedule it so that it was, this Zoom presentation was available to the public. Because we used to do that every year. We used to have a presentation on the tax credits where Joan Larrabee used to come down to Lewis to do that. So, all right, well, we'll plan to do that. So the next item is discussion and possible action on the revisions to the HPARC application checklist. Was the application checklist in everybody's packet or not?
No, because I think Michael was supposed to be taking a shot at revising it,
He did.
and I don't think I've received a copy of it.
I sent it to you a couple of weeks ago. I sent it when he sent it to me, I forwarded on to you, but that's okay. Because I think in reading through it and talking to Phil, there are a couple things that I think he and I would like to take another stab at that I think, and we'd like to meet with you to do that, Robin, or to talk to you about it. So I'll send it to you again tomorrow.
Okay.
And then maybe we can take some time and go over it so that want to make sure that we get the information we want, but it has a user-friendly approach. So it's not, we don't want it to be burdensome to anybody. So did you want to say anything, Phil?
No, I just said user-friendly tone.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. In new business, is there anybody had any questions or comments about any of these things yet? No? Okay. New business, we talked last month about changing the HPARC date again to the first Thursday. Anne Marie suggested the first Thursday of each month. And I think at that time, we all agreed it would work for all of our schedules. Is that still the case?
Yes.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, yes, not a problem for me. I don't know when Janelle's going to come back with when we're going to meet with the school design. That was supposed to be in the first week in May. I don't know if this would conflict with that or not. I haven't talked to her.
That's been set for Monday, the 3rd at 1 p.m., the joint.
Okay.
meeting.
Okay, I didn't get that. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
So we're going to have 2 meetings that week.
Who's supposed to contact the HPARC people?
There was a notification that went out. I received it. Everybody was on the line voting on the different times. And then Janelle sent out about 8 days ago, 1 p.m.
Okay.
I can look up and see who all was on that.
I can live with that. I only have an iPad, and the iPad was missing for almost 2 weeks. One of my grandkids put it in the drawer, and we were going crazy. Of course, we were on vacation down in Virginia, so I didn't.
Yeah, Bill, you might want to look back. You're copied on there, and the
Okay.
date of the email was March 30th. She sent it at 10:59 a.m.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. As far as setting it for the first week, that's not a problem. I'm retired.
So I should look under March 30th on my laptop because I check my emails every single morning and I have.
You're not, Phil.
Not on
Phil,
the,
you're not on
the
it.
panel.
You're not
Oh,
on
okay.
that panel.
I feel
It's-
left out
it's-
again.
No, you were last month. You were there when George made the motion. He
Okay.
made it. Yeah, he made it for Bill and Randy and Michael, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm
Those
still
three-
cracking up about that.
Yeah, he made a nomination, not a motion.
He made a nomination.
All right.
Yes, he made a nomination.
At that.
We'll
That's-
never forget George for that.
I know it's coming.
Paybacks are
Coming.
tough.
Yeah.
Paybacks are tough. Okay, so we're okay with changing the HPARC date to the first Thursday. And then I had a question.
Madam Chair, before you go on to the next item, I just want to bring out something about moving the date.
Okay,
I have no problem with moving the date. The only concern that I have is we're moving it closer to our meeting now. In doing so, it also moves the cutoff date closer because it still has that 10-day period. My preference would be to allot the applicants or any potential applicants the fair amount of time is to not start this until June. So the May meeting would stay as scheduled to May 11th, and then the June meeting would turn to the first Thursday.
I think that's a solid recommendation, Robin.
Yeah.
And then you can notice everybody this week.
Yes.
Yep.
okay. Okay, so then can we vote to start this in June?
Yes, that would probably be best.
So
So moved.
okay, so the motion would be to change the dates to the first Thursday of the month, starting in June. Now, I just had a question. I noticed a lot of the commission and meetings for the city, some meet at 6 and some meet at 6:30. I don't know if anybody wanted an extra half hour to squeeze in a sandwich or something. Does anybody care?
Another
Well,
concern
the
about
later we start, the later we go. So the sooner we start, the sooner we finish.
that was going to be my point.
Okay, all right. So,
Amen.
okay. So do we need a motion to do this, or? I guess we should.
Yes, because you got to change your bylaws. Your bylaws state right now that you're currently doing the second Tuesday. So this would be a bylaws change.
Okay,
Yeah, I moved for the motion, Barbara, when you just made it, but if you need a formal motion, we can make one.
I think we need a formal motion to change the date from the second Tuesday to the first Thursday at 6 p.m. starting in June.
So moved.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, done. All right, sorry, Bonnie, your last meeting is your May last city council meeting is back to back with your last HPARC meeting.
That's fine. I can do it.
Okay.
We know you
Fight
can.
on. All right, that takes care of that. The last thing I have is a discussion of future agenda items and or workshops. And something, I had an executive meeting at Preservation Delaware last night, and they're doing these workshops, as I've talked about, every other month. And so they want to plan on one probably in 2 months. And they were considering doing a subject that would be beneficial to the CLGs, the Historic Preservation Commissions throughout the state, something that they would, a subject that would be of interest in, of help. So whether it's, how do you get everybody to like what you do, or something maybe a little heavier? Anybody have any thoughts on maybe a subject that we just think would be educational and useful to us as commissioners?
Historic preservation in flood zones.
Well, yes, I think we talked about that. We did. We had one of those. We had that from Dominique. Dominique that actually did this book.
Oh, gee.
That I wanted the state of Delaware to do one for us. She's done one from Maryland, one from New Jersey, and so far just short of a couple 100,000, but you know, one of these days. But you know, we might be able to do something that focuses more on the the design aspect, because when you have a structure in a floodplain and it's required to be elevated, it doesn't necessarily need a full story underneath of it. You know, there's some very sensitive design projects, and Brenda has done several of them out on Cedar, where they're obviously elevated to an appropriate height, but you know, they don't have a whole full story. And then you have several structures in Lewis that had received, there was a lot of money that came through the state, probably 15 years ago. And you see houses on Cedar and Savannah that just have concrete that are almost a full story or 3/4 of a story. And they picked the house up and plopped it on top. And anyway, we could look at that, you know, the design aspects of that. Anybody have any other thoughts?
And if you recall, the commission did approve the house at 203 East Market Street. That was in the floodplain.
Yes,
That was an addition and remodel of the existing structure.
yes.
So that was somewhat, as Chairperson Warnell was talking about not raising it completely up, but high enough to get it out of the floodplain or out of the BFE.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that actually is a little higher, isn't it? Isn't it like almost a full, it's big enough to have garage space or something? It seemed.
No, they can't put a garage there now.
Yeah, I know they can't, but I mean, it must be, isn't it close to 8 feet?
It's not that high.
I don't think
No.
it's high.
No. Yeah, that's, okay, all right.
Also, you know, again, throughout the years of meetings, several years ago, we had the ad hoc committee meetings about, you know, revisions to some ordinance, some questions and things like that. You know, some of the things that I recall that have come up more and more is the exterior lighting, which is, you know, not specified in our ordinance right now, but it's been a discussion item. Also, maybe in our definitions to talk about what's in public view. You know, that sometimes gets to be a hot button item too. So, you know, maybe there's a few items that we need to kind of look over and see if there's something we can clarify a little better.
Okay.
Another one, Barbara, that maybe it'd be interesting to hear what they have to say if they can cover it is on the commercial side. You know, I haven't said too much about the commercial, but you know, with the houses or with commercial properties going boundary to boundary, you know, so much difference and also in the designs of the commercial is different. You know, I mean, we're looking at them as one, like we're looking at houses and we're looking at commercial, but there is a big difference there. And I'm wondering if they have anything in their repertoire to cover the commercial side. I'm anxious to hear what they have to say too.
You know, I don't think so. I mean, I really think the preservation the guidelines that we have, you approach to the streetscape, you approach to proportion and mass and you know, it's the same, you apply the same things. It's
okay. Like, you know, with a commercial, you've got a lot of utility stuff that you wouldn't have with a regular house as to where you put it and places like that, you know, which we always looked at, like, you know, if you have air conditioners and things like that go up on roofs and up in all kinds of crazy places.
I think we have a section in our guidelines.
Okay.
That does address some additional items.
Okay, we're okay, good.
Yeah, but take a look at that, and you might think of some things that we're missing.
Just thinking.
Yeah, so I think maybe we can all, maybe next month, we can hopefully have some time that we can talk about this in a little more detail. In the meantime, everybody can be thinking about, you know, we've all commented like Robin just did about, gee, you know, someday maybe we can, you know, have such and such included in our guidelines. So maybe we can just do some more brainstorming, and I think I've got a list that I keep adding to that I might just send out as to have you start thinking about it before the next meeting. So Okay, well, I think, I don't know. I don't really have anything else. Does anyone else have anything before we, Robin's going to do the chair and staff? Nothing else? Okay, Robin.
I'm not going to bore us because we did have a extremely busy March for chair and staff reviews,
We did.
which really helps the applicants out. And it will, just think if we had 19 total, if we had 19 extra applications on this month's meeting.
Incredible.
Well,
I think they would have went, some of them would have been a lot faster, but it just goes to show that I think this helps the commission as a whole, plus it helps the applicants.
Right.
Trying to streamline the best we can. But it also shows on there,
We appreciate it.
there's 2 that were denied.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it shows that we're being diligent on making sure that things are not just being run through. So everybody got the list. I'm not going to go through every one of them. So if anybody has any questions.
What's that LP Smart Side? What is that? I'm not familiar with.
Commissioner Burton can probably speak.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's right.
The LP Smart Side, the material itself.
Well, before you start, let me just give people background. So this is the applicant on
Madison.
Madison that was approved. We had one chair and staff where they decided not to put the second floor deck on in the back and the rear of it. And because of that, they did a shed roof instead of the deck. And I think that was about it for the one. And then they wanted to substitute for the hardy plank this other material, which is called
LP Smart Side.
Yeah, LP Smart Side.
And so I was not familiar with it. I thought it had come before HPC and had been turned down. So I asked Robin to call Randy, who I knew would be much more up on stuff like that than I would. And so Randy, you want to take it from here and enlighten everybody?
So Louisiana Smart Siding is a product that was developed quite a number of years ago initially, and they had an epic manufacturing failure, just to start it all out with some good drama. And they went back to they pulled the product off of the market. They went back to the drawing board, and about 4 years ago, they reintroduced a re-engineered material. And basically what it is if you envision the back side of this siding, when you turn it over and look at it, looks like a piece of OSB sheathing or Advantech sheathing. So that is a full composite glued together sheathing product. However, when you turn it over to the face side, it is available in 2 different formats. One is either smooth or the other one is wood grain. The wood grain looks quite artificial. The smooth does not. And Robin and I looked at both of those. We actually began looking at this project for this very non-controversial project that we were doing in this old historic town, because we were going to use it as the siding on all of the buildings in there. That project will remain nameless, but we found it to be, as a company, a great product because it offers an affordable method that is still low maintenance, much like Hardy Panel, that has much more of a cedar appearance to it because it has a deeper shadow line on the bottom, right? So you look at old houses in Lewis and they have cedar siding, and then you see the new advent of hardy plank siding, which I personally am not a fan of, the little thin, narrow stuff. This gives you a much deeper, more authentic shadow line at the bottom. And Robin has, I believe, the full box of the, I brought you the sample box, right, Robin?
No, I didn't get that, Randy. Sorry.
Oh, I thought I left it at the, Well, I'll have to look downstairs before I leave here. I know you and I talked about it, or
Yeah.
maybe.
Well, I'll have to look downstairs myself. Maybe it never.
Well, when we have an in-person meeting, I'll bring the full sample box of this product. But you know, it was presented to Barbara, as she said. She talked with Robin about it. Robin and I talked about it. It's a great product and it's a great option. It's actually, in some ways, not for every client, but from an architectural perspective, it's probably a better option than the typical 3/8" hardy plank siding that we see put on so many houses these days, because this actually gives you a real profile. It's similar to the cedar like we require on the facades of, you know, existing structures that are being redone. So when we have, hopefully June, maybe May, we'll be in City Hall in a live meeting, maybe still with masks on, absolutely. But hopefully we can start doing that and we can all take a look at that product that was approved for just that one project. This wasn't like a blanket approval by Barbara and Robin for every available siding project in town, but it certainly could be considered.
Yeah, that brings up the subject that I do think is worth a workshop, and that's substitute materials.
Yeah.
And I think that would be something I might go back to Preservation Delaware and suggest that
I'd like that.
They can, because, you know, I mean, there's things around town that we've been approving and they just don't weather well, you know, these plastic materials. I mean, I think we just need to I think that's a good thing and a responsible thing that we should do. And with, you know, Randy on now and Bill, you're very knowledgeable. You know, I think it's a good time to do that. So
there are certainly lots of good quality engineered products that can meet the aesthetic that we're looking for. But
yeah, I think that would be good. And let's start thinking about how we might actually, when we can do in person, that we could perhaps even have some kind of event or function or workshop, you know, with maybe even vendors if we wanted them there, you know, bringing in and taking a minute to, you know, go through their little spiel, or maybe starting to do, if there were showrooms or places to visit, you know, that we could, you know, something, you know, sort of continue to continuing education approach to the things that we have to view and pass judgment on all the time, just so that we're better informed.
Bonnie, is there a sense of when in-person meetings are going to begin to take place? I had thought I heard rumor of it was going to be sooner rather than later, but has council talked about that, or?
No, not as a council. I kind of doubt it, Randy, with all of these variants popping up and with the vulnerability of our population. I kind of doubt it. I mean, as you all probably know, the city is going to add at vast expense paid for by your federal tax dollars. The city is going to add 2 bathrooms off of the Rollins Center, off of the back of the Rollins Center where the city's meeting room is. So I don't know, I don't recall off the top of my head how long that project's going to take, at least 120 days. But I think the overall plan is to shift meetings over, all meetings, over to the Rollins Center. We're getting appropriate streaming equipment and that sort of thing so that people can watch much as they do now, except it won't be Zoom. Can watch, you know, you can participate in person, of course, or watch the meetings from home the way, for example, you can with a county council meeting. But I think the general view is that the city either has or soon will have at least for regular city council meetings or public hearings that have significant public interest, has outgrown that little meeting room over at City Hall.
Right.
So, but there were a lot of logistical issues with the bathrooms at the Rollins Center and coordinating with LHS and all that. So finally, we just said, you know what, let's just build some bathrooms and make that essentially a standalone facility. So, so that is coming up now. Whether we will have in-person meetings before that's done, I don't know. But I think no, just while in Lewis itself, I think there's been a pretty good reception of the vaccine, and lots of people are vaccinated. You can kind of tell them apart when you look at them. Happy ones and the not so happy ones.
I've been vaccinated. I've been vaccinated.
I'm getting my second shot on Friday.
Oh, congratulations.
So I am ready.
Young crowd.
Yes. Well, two weeks after it anyway. But so that's a very, very long answer to your very short question. The short answer is I haven't heard a specific date. The long answer is the longer plan that I just bored you with.
Oh, no, I appreciate all the information. That's all.
Sure.
Yeah, no, that's very, very helpful. Yeah.
And I agree. You can tell those people who they still hug very far away from you.
Oh, good.
A friend of ours in New Hampshire was very funny. New Hampshire was way behind Delaware for a while, and now it's way ahead. Go figure. But she said, yep. She said, all the old people, she's quite elderly herself. She said, all the old people up here, they're vaccinated and they're getting frisky.
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
Yep.
Okay.
You can't tell the difference. Yep.
Mhm. Okay, so I don't think there is anything else on the agenda. Does anybody else have anything they want to chat about? No?
No.
I move to adjourn.
Time
Okay.
to eat.
Second.
All right, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Have a great remainder of your evening at 8:25. Yeah.
Hey,
Watch
everybody.
the Kentucky
Good
Derby
to see
first
you all.
Saturday in May.
Love your hair,
Yeah.
George.
Oh, thank you. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye, everybody.
Take care.
I'm done, Brett.